I did.
Yeah, nothing. Oh, yeah, you can have it all you want.
All right. Evening, everyone. Thanks for your patience with us. I'd like to call to order the July 28th Lititz Borough Council meeting. I'm going to hand the meeting over to the mayor to address the invocation.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yes, Steve Weaver is in the audience. Oh, there you are. Okay, I was looking for. I couldn't find you. So Steve Weaver is the minister director from TNT Youth Ministry. So Steve, would you lead us in benediction, please?
Sure. Pray with me. God, thanks so much for the opportunity to gather together this evening. And God, we're excited about this special opportunity to honor Officer Webb. God, I just pray that you would use him in mighty ways in this community. God, that you would protect him, that you would give him guidance and wisdom in his role, protect his family, and just protect his marriage, Lord. And Lord, just pray for the rest of the meeting then. I pray for wisdom and discernment as decisions are made. I pray for patience and grace in conversations. And God, just help this group of leaders know what decisions need to be made now and what can wait. And God, just thank you for their willingness to serve this community in this way. And just pray, God, that you would bless them, bless their families, and God, may Lititz just continue to be a great community that supports one another and continues to grow. And thanks for these leaders and their willingness to lead this community. And they pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Steve. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance, flag, United States, to the republic. Peace. Pretty.
Thank you, Mayor. Next, we're going to move on to approval of the minutes from the June 30th council meeting. I believe you all had an opportunity to review those. Do we have a motion to approve, or do we have any comments?
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Would like to just announce that we did have an executive session that began at 6 o'clock to discuss personnel and real estate matters. Next, we're going to move on to presentations. We have the swearing in of Officer Adam Webb this evening. I believe that's going to be between the mayor and the chief will be taking care of that.
Yes, I'm going to actually defer the introduction to our officer, to Jerry Meck.
Thank you. So as the chairman of the Personnel Committee, we had the privilege of meeting Adam. He brings a great deal of experience. He did well in our interview. We enjoyed his professional approach, his values, his character, and of course, his commitment to this community and to his family. So tonight, I'm honored and privileged to introduce the newest member of the Lititz Borough Police Department, Officer Adam Webb. Officer Webb brings to our department an outstanding depth of experience, strong educational background, and a deep personal commitment to our local community. That was one of the things that came through very clearly as he met with the Personnel Committee. He earned his bachelor's degree in criminology from the University of South Florida before moving to Lancaster County, where he started his career through an internship with a local municipality police department. Officer Webb brings 17 years of experience in law enforcement. He began as a patrol officer with the Clay Township Police Department and the Northern Lancaster County Regional Police Department. He then joined the Manheim Borough Police Department, served for over 10 years as the school resource officer for the Manheim Central School District, and ultimately became the district's first school security officer. Beyond his professional background, Adam is already a familiar face around town. He and his wife, Tanea, have called Lititz home for 18 years. His two daughters, Riley and Harper, both attend Warwick schools, so he has roots here in the community. We are extremely fortunate to add Officer Webb to our borough police department. Mayor?
I, Adam Webb,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
as a police officer for the Lititz Borough,
as a police officer for the Lititz Borough Police Department,
I will support, obey, and defend
I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Pennsylvania,
the laws of Pennsylvania,
the laws of Borough,
and discharge the duties of the office
and I will discharge the duties of the office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Will uphold, obey, and enforce the law
I will uphold, obey, and defend and enforce the law
without consideration
without consideration
of person's race, color,
person's race, color, or sex,
religion, creed, orientation,
religious creed, or sexual orientation,
age, national origin,
age,
ancestry,
age, national origin, ancestry.
or dis-
Yes.
Chief Nye, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Han.
Han, Chief Han. How can I make that mistake? Sorry.
No, because we're extremely proud to have him on board. Like you said, he's a familiar face, already integrated into the community, which is evident by so many people here tonight. So we're excited to get him on board and to get him trained up and put him out in the street. Glad you're here. We do one with a group of officers quickly. That's all right. It's obligatory, right?
That was comfy. Out of the way here.
Yeah. least he makes me look like I got hair. Adam. Hey.
Anyone that was here for the ceremony, you do not, there's no obligation to stay for the rest of the meeting. If you would like to, I think traditionally, I think you go downstairs after this, don't you, Chief?
Anybody who's with the officer goes downstairs, give them a tour of the building. Get everybody introduced.
So this is your chance to get out before we start the boring stuff.
Anybody left? How are you? Hello?
Hey, what's up, man?
Don't need water? I don't think in the closet now. Water.
Yeah. Okay, I think we had an opportunity to allow them all to exit. We're going to move on to our second presentation of the evening, 2026 mid-year financial review. I believe Rob will be presenting that one.
I can sense the excitement in your
Yes.
voice, Scott. I sense.
We'll see if there's applause at the end or not.
So as we've done the past couple of years, we like to take one meeting a month to kind of outline where we are at here in 2026, where we think we'll end up, and then a look forward into the future as well. The one caveat for this evening is all the data you're going to see here tonight is as of June 30th, 2026. So any reports you might have for tonight's meeting, the numbers might not match what you see on the screen. So we got 5 major areas we want to hit tonight. We want to talk about each of our major funds, the revenues, the expenses, where the revenue is at, where we think it's going to go, and same thing with the expenses. We'll talk really briefly about the debt obligations we have, our capital outlay for 2026, and then what the rest of this year looks like fiscally and how we plan out our 2027 budget. So we'll get started right away with the general fund on the revenue side. The orange bar you see there is what our year-to-date actual is. The blue one is what our budget is for the year. As you can see, as of June 30th, we're right about the 50% mark. Our revenue looks really good on the general fund side. If anything, I think we might end up at or above our annual budget. And the reason I say that is with this slide here, I just want to dig a little deeper into a couple areas where I think our revenue is really going to get to be more than what we thought it would be. So on this slide, the blue bar is the year-to-date actual and the orange is the year-to-date budget. So that first one up there, it's a real estate transfer. That's the revenue we receive every time a property is sold within the borough. And as of June 30th, we were at $138,000. Our year-to-date budget on June 30th was only 87. So you can see we're way above. And if just as a caveat here, if you remember back during the budget process in November of last year, Ken and the finance committee was very intentional about saying we didn't feel comfortable including potential sales of commercial property in the borough, specifically the LGH building. As we all know that sold. So that 138 does not include the revenue we received from that sale, that transfer. So long story short, that fund is already above what our annual budget is, and it's just going to keep on growing.
Do we expect that this year? From the LGH building?
Yes, we already received it in July.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
Got
in our July statement.
Rob, do you know,
Mhm.
there are a few other properties that are in process? Do you have any idea?
I do not have any idea. No. The next one is the parking meter. I wanted to bring that one up. It obviously on the graph it shows just the opposite, that we're behind. But as we go through the summer months and into the fall, I really expect our parking revenue to really increase. Typically the February, March timeframe is a little slow. It's just going to keep on going. Even if we would lose some time when we transfer from our current parking system to our Park Mobile, I still think we'll be at or maybe even above that number. It's just it's a lot of revenue that comes in every month for us. And the last one on there is a building permit. Once again, beating our expectations on the revenue side. They just continue to come in. Once again, obviously, this is a busy time for building permits, outside work, things like that. So the revenue on the building permit side is coming in very strong. Those three things together really make me feel like our general fund revenue is going to be at or above what we thought it would be. Now I wanted to go over to our general fund expenses. And it's essentially the general fund expenses I look at as being just the opposite of the revenue. As you can see, year-to-date actual, we're just around 30% of our total annual budget. And I see that trend continuing as we go through the fiscal year. I think we'll be definitely below what our planned expenses were for this year. How much, only time will tell, but there are a few things we're going to monitor closely. So what I'm projecting for this year, expenses in the general fund is about 9.4. We had budgeted 9.6, as you can see there on the orange line. Long story short, a lot of our planned projects are coming in under budget. We've made some staffing changes. All those things are lining up towards less expenses this year. So these are the three indicators we're going to watch on the expense side over the next 6 months. We're going to start first with the paving. I don't know if you remember or not, but our paving bid actually came in about $20,000 under what we had budgeted for the year. In addition to that, in paving bids, there's always a contingency that's included. So if we go through the paving project this year and we don't run into any problems or issues, we will not spend that contingency. That's just going to add to less expenses for the year. Another main driver is overtime for both our police and public works. I know Jared has supplied you guys with some reports saying how overtime is down compared to last year. The same thing's happening this year in both public works and the police department. It's less than we had projected. Anything can change in the next 6 months, but that's something we want to keep our eye on. And the last one is the police department HVAC controls. We had budgeted $68,000 for that. The scope of work has been complicated. That's led to more time with engineers trying to figure out exactly how we're going to attack this. End of the day, if we do get some invoices in this year, it could be in December or maybe even into the next fiscal year. This longer time of trying to figure out how we're going to attack the problem will just delaying the start of the project, which delays when we're going to get our invoices in. So you put all those things together on the general fund, I see revenue going higher and expenses going lower. So we're going to transition here real quick just over to our debt. This screen gives you just a general overview of our debt. We have a 2010 note that's tied to the sewer fund. That debt will expire in the year 2030. The other two, the other note and the other bond is part of the general fund. They expire in 2040. The 2020 note was from the renovations over at the Public Works Garage and the building of the police garage. And then the GO bond is for the Norfolk Southern Turnabout line and related work. All told there, we've got some really attractive, really aggressive interest rates. As you can see, the GO bond actually goes down 1% starting in 2028. So we're in a really good spot as far as our interest rates go. And the debt total there, it's not on the screen, but I'm going to say it's about $8.5 million total we have in the debt. Most of that goes to the general fund with a real little bit of the sewer fund. Next up is the general fund capital expense. This has been a really unique fund to kind of track this year. During the budget process last year, we had a lot of capital outlay that was approved, including 2 police vehicles, 2 vehicles in public works, some handguns, just a whole lot of different things. Long story short, once again, I see those expenses coming in less than what we had budgeted. Big driver to that was the bucket truck. The bucket truck we had budgeted $100,000 for. The actual was 68, and what that led us able to do was to go ahead and do the park mobile and also replace an engine in a police car. So it gave us a little bit of leeway there. The one thing we're not going to move forward with in 2026 that was previously approved was the roller for public works. Scoping that piece of equipment out, we don't feel like it's found the right thing on the market for what we need. So we're just going to wait another year, but that is a $25,000 expense that we're not going to incur this year for the general fund capital expense. So now we're going to transfer back over to the water fund. We'll talk about revenue and expenses here. Water revenue, I don't have any concerns. As you can see, the year-to-date actual is really healthy. That's just going to continue to go on throughout this fiscal year. We are done with the June billing cycle, so that's a pretty solid number so far into the fiscal year. I wanted to take one quick moment and just call out a year-to-date comparison. In January of this year, we raised our water rates by 2.5%. So what you see here is a comparison of June 30th, 2025 and June 30th, 2026, about $130,000 difference. The rate increase is probably the main driver behind that, along with increased consumption throughout the plant. But I wanted to call that out real quick for you just to see a difference year to date. Water fund expenses, once again, no major concerns here. I think we'll end up at or near our budget. We're spending a lot of money in capital on both our water and our sewer, as you guys have seen throughout the year. Projects are going well so far. One piece of information to share with you, the West Main Street water main project, that actually ended up roughly $160,000 under budget. So that was a big cost saver for us doing it in-house versus subcontracting it out. The rest of the capital expenditures will be for capitals at the water treatment plant.
Rob, that had to do with the Public Works Department doing some extra work, is that correct?
Not extra work. It's work they're capable of doing. But yes, when we budgeted it out, it was a price for being bid work, but we were able to do it in-house by renting the bigger and heavier equipment.
Yeah, I think the public should be aware of that the Public Works Department helped out in that regard. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sewer fund revenue, about halfway, really close to that so far. The one caveat to remember with the water, sewer, and the stormwater we get to next is those bills and invoices come in quarterly. And the last quarter, the invoices go out December 10th. So it's always tricky trying to figure out what the revenue is going to be because you don't know if people are going to pay it before the first of the year or after the first of the year. So the billing cycle goes December 10th to January 10th. That is your 30-day window to pay without a late fee. So it always gets tricky at the end of the year. All that being said, sewer fund revenue looks really good. As you know, we increased those fees by 2.5% as well. So I wanted to show that comparison like we did in the water fund, 2025 to 2026. You can see a pretty good increase there. Sewer expenses, it's pretty high so far. What we found a lot this year was a lot of the capital required a deposit up front, which is something we didn't normally have at the wastewater treatment plant. We had to pay a lot of deposits. So that's why it's so high right now. Once again, it's going to depend on timing. A lot of the work at the sewer plant happens in the third quarter, beginning of fourth quarter. So the timing of those invoices will really impact our ultimate on the expenses. But I don't expect it to be over budget in the sewer fund either. This is the last fund we have is a stormwater construction fund. Revenue looks great. I have no concerns. You can see we're about the halfway point, and that should end up to be at or above what we're looking at for the entire year. Expense-wise on the stormwater, you see there's a drastic difference there. The main driver behind the expenses is the curb replacement for the Front Street paving. You'll see it's later on in our agenda tonight, but we don't have any pay apps yet. That's be the first one is tonight. So I would expect by our August meeting, this fund will be close to its total expenditures for the year because that curb is the main driver behind it. Almost to the end here, the budget timeline. Just wanted to kind of outline what lies ahead for Borough Council as far as the budget goes. Internally, staff's already been working on it, either on their own or in a specific committee, but they'll have first drafts of their budget proposals to myself and the Finance Committee in September. We'll review those. If a second draft is needed, any kind of questions, that happens through September and October. There's also an interesting event that happens in October. It's when we give the Lititz Borough Authority and Warwick Township Municipal Authority the budget for the wastewater treatment plant for the next year so that they can approve it and be aware of it. The next thing after that in the month of November is the first time that council will see the budget. That'll be the working meeting we have on November 10th. November 24th meeting, you will vote to advertise the budget, and that'll be the first time the public will see it. In years past, the first Tuesday in December, we've done a public Q&A. That's something we can still do as well if council feels there's value there. And then at the end of December is when council would vote to approve the 2027 budget. So that is it for my presentation. We talked about all the major funds, revenues, expenses, where we're at, where we think we're going to go. We looked at our debt, our capital outlay, and then our timeline for 2027 budget. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Rob. That was a great presentation. Does council have any questions for Rob related to the presentation? If not, we'll see if anyone in the audience has any questions related to Rob's presentation this evening. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. I do just have one question. I thought first Tuesday is Planning Commission. Second Tuesday is
It would be the second Tuesday in November would be the budget meeting.
for December is the one that I'm,
Oh, for December, yes, it should be the second Tuesday as the
Thanks.
standing council meeting.
yeah, so that's a correction
Yep.
in the presentation. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
You're a mistake
Yeah.
tonight, Rob.
Thanks, Rob. Looking then.
Thank you for the presentation. It's been really helpful to get the summary at this point in the process and appreciate all the work that you and the team do to get this ready for us.
I think we did have one question out of the audience. Would like to come front?
Dave Carson, 220 East Sixth Street. I just have one quick question. Last year when Ken presented the same situation, the same budget example for 2026, he was anticipating $1 million deficit based upon 2026 budget. That's not something you're considering or thinking is going to happen this year? Because they were talking about fund balance at 25% level, and he had mentioned that general fund 2026, 8.75 revenue, 9.75 million expenses, $1 million deficit. And there was concerns about that. Has that been addressed?
Yeah.
And is it too premature, or is that something you're considering?
No, I'm not concerned about expenses being more than revenue for this
Okay.
year. If memory serves me correct, in our audit, I think 2026 ended up with a 37% fund balance.
2025.
Yeah, 2025. I'm
Right,
sorry.
okay.
Yes. Yep.
But so the numbers that were presented last year at this time, they've been updated, and you're doing much better.
I think the revenue
Okay.
is looking really good. Yep.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Thanks. Any other questions related to the presentation? Okay. Move on to our next item. It is the consent agenda this evening. If no one has any items to remove from the consent agenda, I'd look for a motion to approve that.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, consent agenda is approved. Next, we have the treasurer's report. Rob, I think you have one item on there.
Yes. Hold on one second. Is it the DMA invoice?
The MS4 invoice.
Yes. Yep. MS4 invoice. Yeah. Nothing else besides my report. You see it there in front of you. All the funds are sufficient.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the DMA invoice for municipal separate storm sewer system professional services for July.
Second?
I would just like to say I'm recusing myself. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that carries. Next, we're going to move on to the council members forum for this evening. The first subcommittee report is on finance.
Okay. So council members, you had a memo in your packets about the Lititz Borough Waste and Recycling Contract. So what we're looking for is to extend it one more year. This is Casella. They'd be interested in renewing the contract for 2027. It would bring, it would be an increase of about less than $12 per household. They allow 2 extensions. We've had one, the last year was the first extension, and they're allowing us a second extension of that contract. So tonight I'd be looking for a motion to support that unless anybody has questions.
I just want to clarify my understanding that the increase is our charges. We're not approving an increase to the customers' rates, but there is an increase in our cost.
Can you clarify that, Rob?
Yes, that's true. It's our cost is going up.
Okay. No further question.
Was that a motion
Yeah.
on your part?
A motion to approve the one-year extension of the Lititz Borough Waste and Recycling Contract with Casella.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It's approved. Do you have anything else on your subcommittee report this evening?
That's all I have.
Okay, next we'll move on to personnel and benefits.
Yes, thank you, Chair. And as you know, council made some decisions a couple of months ago to go a different direction in leadership with our Public Works Department. After a fairly extensive process to get feedback from the community, from a number of stakeholders in the borough, the leadership of our borough here, Public Works staff, we developed a new position, and we're calling this new position the Director of Public Works, not a Superintendent of Public Works. This position will be more related to administrative responsibilities based on the information we got back from our survey. And so we found after a review of who we had on staff that we had an internal person who could do the job that this public works director needs to do based on the information we got back in terms of the kind of work, experience, the qualifications of the person. So we made a decision internally to do a promotion internally to promote Tyler Turbin. Is that how you pronounce it? Toberian as our new Director of Public Works. He will assume the duties and responsibilities as we put together with a job description. The Personnel Committee met with him and developed some categories for him to have expectations for him to perform. Those expectations will be reviewed in 6 months. The action plan with the related to the expectations will be included in his job description. So we're really excited about this internal opportunity, this internal promotion for Tyler. So we're bringing that recommendation to the Borough Council tonight.
Would that be a motion that you will be making to
Make that motion, correct?
do a second on that motion for the promotion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The promotion's approved. Thank you for all your work on that effort. Would your committee have any other action for this evening or reports? No, that's it. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Next, we'll move on to the Planning and Development Committee. So you have an ordinance.
Yeah, I'd like to present for the council's consideration an ordinance accepting the public right-of-way of Hensley Street as part of the public road system of Lititz Borough. This is a segment of road that was developed from a stub which extends essentially between General Sutter Avenue and West Marion Street. And I'd like to entertain any questions that anybody has on that item.
Are there pictures of, I was just curious, I know they were still working when I went past it before. I wasn't sure if they completed all the work on that street.
At this point, they have not. This is to advertise the ordinance that would allow acceptance in August. We met with the developer earlier this month, and they are planning on paving beginning of August. We also have some punch list items that need to be addressed and that they've been working through. And we have basically the ordinances and the bills of sales and the deeds reviewed by our solicitor. So next step, if you advertise tonight, we'll reach out to all the impacted property owners, which are in that development already, inform them there will be a hearing in August. And then that hearing will be there and you can vote for the acceptance at that time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for clarifying the details of that, Elijah.
I've been looking at it a lot lately.
Thank you. Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to advertise the ordinance as just described by our Managing Director of Planning and Development.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes. Anything else from the Planning and Development Committee this evening?
Nothing else.
Nothing else? Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move on now to the reports from the mayor and the chief of police. Mayor, would you like to go first?
Sure. Just a reminder that we have two large community events coming up during the month of August. On August 11th will be the Lititz Rotary Craft Show. And there'll be a change this year in terms of the layout because the craft show used to occupy Main Street and turn north on Broad Street. However, after review with the fire department, we're going to go Main Street and go south on Broad Street. So the fire department is not blocked in. As there was an incident last year where it was difficult for the fire companies to respond to. because inability to make a left onto Broad. So a new layout for the craft show this year. And then the car cruise on August 19th, sponsored by Lititz Lions, will close Main Street. And I don't know if Chief wanted to have any details on either one of those road closures or maybe any questions about the road closures.
Hey, thank you for your report, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing I would add is we have a plan in place to communicate publicly ahead of these events, specifics as far as what roads close, what time they close, what areas have restricted parking, what time those restrictions go into effect, just to make sure everybody has that information before the day of. We've also proactively communicated with respect to the craft show. Any resident along the new section of Broad Street that the craft show was not previously on, we've hand-delivered letters to all those residents so that they know, to make sure that they get the communication, as well as contact information to reach out to us with any questions, concerns, et cetera. Like the mayor said, that the intent behind changing the layout of the craft show was to address some concerns with the fire company, but also to balance impacts to traffic and just the flow through town that we've experienced in the past years. They were coordinated with the Rotary Club, who was the sponsor of that event, made sure that we took into consideration all their concerns, and we came up with this solution together. So we'll reevaluate that after these, or at least after the craft show, to determine if it achieved what we intended it to achieve, and then make any adjustments as we need from there. The only other thing I would add to this general conversation is next Tuesday, August 4th, will be our National Night Out. That is a community gathering. It's being held at the Treehouse Playground. Local first responders, food vendors, activities for kids and families. That's already been advertised on our social media. We'll put it out again just to make sure the information's fresh in everybody's mind. But we just encourage everybody who has an interest to show up that night and enjoy some fellowship and some food, and to meet your local responders.
Great, thank you very much. Anything else in your report this evening?
That was all I had.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have our managing director's reports. Do either of you have anything to add?
All right, Rob's looking at me. Just the usual update about the runabout line. We are trying to schedule a pre-con meeting for that. Unfortunately, none of the schedules worked out in August. So we'll have to look at September, and we will need to get in touch with the design engineer for that to get the date. Well, that's the one we're waiting on. So, which by the local design engineer, DMA. It's not Scott. So we need to hear from them to get the dates, but we have a clustering of dates in September. And once that happens, we'll be able to move that process forward. With as late as we are, my guess is it will probably be a 27 project, but maybe we'll get surprised. Last thing is the Memorial Park is budgeted for a phased improvement this year. We did have bids out. Unfortunately, all those bids, we only got one bid and it was over budget, in part because of the decorative block. We're going to remove that decorative block, and we resubmitted the bids request. So hopefully that should be able to move forward before the end of summer.
Thank you.
I just have a few things that were not included in my report. First of all, the Northern Interceptor project is complete. That was part of the Lancaster County ARPA funds. The last part of this that we just did, or plan on doing next week, is to send the remaining balance back to Lancaster County. It's about $75,000 of the money that was not allocated, not spent. The Front Street curbing is very close to being finished. Then the next phase will be paving Front Street. That'll be about a week process once that comes around. And next week we have a kickoff meeting for the police department HVAC controls.
Okay, thank you for your updates. Last item, well, second to last item on the agenda, are any questions from the public? Is anyone here wish to address an item that wasn't on the agenda this evening? Anyone online? No? No. Okay. Whoop.
Mr. President, I would like to just call attention to a piece of correspondence that was received from a community member, Brianna Snellick, regarding the passing of Callie. And I just want to express my own personal concern for the community in light of this tragedy. And I appreciate her writing and expressing similar concerns about the this tragic situation in our community and just care for all. And my hope is that when a tragedy like this happens, that it raises our awareness about each of our responsibilities in caretaking, and hopefully through this, other lives might be saved by raising the awareness about the vulnerability in situations like this. So I just wanted to acknowledge that correspondence and express my care and concern for the community at this time.
Hey, thank you. Without seeing any other comments, I think we have one more item to take care of this evening.
Motion to adjourn.
Approved. Thank you for a great meeting this evening, and I think we moved through relatively quickly.